Peace be upon you guys, with you Faru. We all know that EFT Pro supported dealing with pre-devices and supporting iCloud. Whether for hallucinations or for disable and dressing devices, but from the EFT team, Phytra and a new feature. To skip iCloud accounts with disable and passcode, which is the assembly of all operations. And that we do only for devices and merge them in one process and are pressed by pressing the button. In this video we will learn about the new feature and how it is used. And on the matter of explanation, it is easy and understanding is good. The difference between them and the old operations that were supported by the program Brund, and the second point we'll try the new process with some. The experiment will be on the iPhone X, but you can implement the same steps that we will explain on the rest of the iPhone-supported iPhone models in skipping operations, which are the iPhone devices, the beginnings of iPhone 6. To the extent of iPhone X and Z, what you see, the iPhone who is with us is not located in a response, or even appears to be the disable message, but it appeared to us a word that is not available, as you can see that. We will make format and skip the iCloud account on the dongle, operate. The third point, we will learn about the most important problems and errors that can meet us, and we are working, and we will know how we can solve it in an easy and simple way. The fourth point is to make format for iPhone and enter from the iCloud account with the network in calls. And now I subscribe to the channel and do the bell to connect all the new explanations firsthand. Without any prior experience you have about the field, so you can participate with us in the first cure set for the professionalism. Without any prior experience you have, to some extent, we communicate for a very advanced stage in the field, and you will meet the links of the videos under the authenticity of the video. As videos, the entire chair curriculum, the study plan, the method of subscription, and the activation of opponents' cabinets, explain to you, because at the end of each month we offer discount cabins and relief on the leak by 50%. We have always followed on the Joker's soft platforms, whether Facebook or here on YouTube, and he was invited to know the monthly opponents equivalent, and now we stay between us. We start our explanation and we start with the first point with us. Initially, we will go and occupy the EFT Pro program. Then we go down and go to a list before, and we find here the list of the process supported on the program, but we want the process related to the disabled devices that are locked in passcode. We will go to the value of RAM disk here in the program. They are the value of one click, the button's pressure, the value of advanced, or the advanced applicant. Can someone ask me and tell me what is new here? If we go to the value of advanced in the program, we will find all the processes that we always do for the devices closed with a code. Starting from the iPhone 5 or 6 to the iPhone X limit, and we will find it for the dungers, starting with the introduction of the Bondi view. Passing through the rest of the operations that we do, as we see, and these are the same steps and operations that you will find supported by other tools such as Unlock, for example, and some tools that have supported devices before, but the new here is here. The EFT team is your blood. All these processes and steps are only one process. I mean, we will not need to implement each of them separately, as we were doing work in old versions. Therefore, the EFT team is very easy for us, and we stayed with a button. We can carry out all this operations once and successively, without clicking on the operations in many steps, and this is a simple clarification of the new feature, and its function on the dongle is good. Let's move on to the second point, which is that we are trying the new feature on our own on the program, and as we said, our experience will be on the iPhone X, and we want to do its formation and overcome those with an iCloud account. Also, we occupy the network in calls, and you will walk with me step by step and understand the explanation is good. In the beginning, I will consider myself to the right. I came, and this is the iPhone, and I want to overcome the account and occupy the network. I saw how much explained on YouTube, so I stimulated the steps of the explanation, as I saw it without an understanding, which happened, or what the problems can you meet me, so the time for the value of one click here in the program. I will find the basic process, which is the iCloud racing process for devices that contain iOS 11 to iOS 16. I will choose it here on the program. Then I will connect the iPhone with a cable and you will enter the mode DFU after its closure is power, and it is preferable to press 5 swana on the power key and the sound reduction key with some. Then raise my hands from the power key and prefer a pressure on the sound reduction key to some extent, entering the mode DU and getting to know the computer. We will return to the second program and press start to start the process. The program will start to challenge the process and download some files and recognition. Then he will get to know the iPhone and read its information. After that, it appears for the first step in the first stage, which is the choice of a suitable bot for iPhone, such as the RAM disk files that you choose on Dongle, and of course I will choose from the value of 16.6 version. Because the videos that I saw on YouTube were all, they chose this version, and I am of course marginalized with the explanation that I saw without understanding what happened, and when I chose to release the bot and press OK, and then the program begins after that. In introducing the iPhone Bandit view mode in an automatic way and then begins carrying some exploitation and bot files for the iPhone model. Then we wait a little bit for the program to be downloaded. Then we start writing the bots for iPhone. It will appear on its screen the bot and RAM disk process, as you can see, and you will wait a little to the extent that the bot process has been written and the RAM disk is written, and then it will appear for this selection list in order to do Moon or connect with the iPhone and allow the program to reach the sister files for the iPhone, and here it is more than choosing what you see. I will choose the process that supports iOS 11 versions to the limit of
then
iOS 17
Then the
versions.
mobile will start in the connection and mount.
And reach the iPhone, but he appeared to make a mistake on the program here and the process failed and also appeared to the choice box again. Let's choose the process and the second method for iOS 16 versions of iOS XVI versions. After choosing it, click OK in the program here. He says that you need to repeat the process using the second method or counsel. I will say yes, but it will appear to Sindel for a second time. And if you go back and choose the process, you will appear to the same message. And why did the operation fail? Although I saw many videos on YouTube for the same device and the same process, and I had all the success completely and without any problems, why did these problems appear with me and the process failed? We are walking on the regular steps, and we keep it. We are not able to know the reason for the error and the failure of the process, and therefore, let us end the third point, that is with us and we know and understand why the process failed with us. In the uniform we address this mistakes in B's, and if you allow Sib that in your hands and focus with me. In order to solve the problem and address the errors that have appeared and the failure of the operation, we have two solutions. We can do their work. We enter the iPhone, the mode DFU, and we go and work on the Sri Toll Sargent program, and we are updated. In our case, but most importantly, we do the restore while maintaining data, means we will choose the retain user data process on the program. In order not to make the important files that we will need after that during the mistake and after the restore process ends on the program. We'll return to the EFT program and do the process again with the same steps that we explained from a few. We will choose the same choices and then the process will succeed with us. The solution is guaranteed and possible to use it a lot, but the only problem is that it is possible to take a little time because you are forced to carry the file. Consequently, the fate will be carried by the internet and the unprecedents. In addition to that, you will return and breathe the same steps that we flexibly with again, and therefore this solution will succeed, but it will take time as we said. It is that we are dealing with the iPhone and we understand and not memorize as we have seen in our experience, and that we are dealing with and we understand, so we must initially know the details that we did not care about during our experience of failure. Among the most important of them is that at the beginning we had to know the version on the iPhone, and that we will define the appropriate steps and choices for why the release is on the tool that we will work on, whether it is EFT, Unlock tool, or any other tool, and we can know the iOS version. For addressing devices and disappel on the Unlock tool. When we go to a value before in the tool, then the value is the RAM disk, and if you allow me to focus with me because there is an important information that you must know. It is that we will now connect the iPhone with the cable, but in the Rubin's position, it is not in DFU mode, which is this small Turkish, and then we will press read iOS in the program here, and then you will get to know the iPhone. And you will read the upper version and note here that the Atom is not exactly the release as appeared to us, but it appeared to us more than one version, as you can see, and the question remains: how do we bring the version on the iPhone exactly among these versions? Look, teacher, most of the second tools, you will read the version in the same way, and therefore the information that we will know. It is that the iPhone has a version of iOS 15 with its successive Air versions, but the main and primary version is iOS 15. Therefore, we will deal with it on this basis, and when you choose any processor files on the tools, you will be dedicated to the 5-year version. I mean, we will not choose any version randomly like what we did at the beginning. This is very important, and you must take your money from it because it saves you time and effort after that. Okay, completely, but it is possible for someone to say to me, "You entered us in ANAC, as long." And I want to work in breath all the steps on this EFT Pro. I will tell you easy, teacher, and it does not matter because if we return the EFT program and focus with me, good, please. We arrived in the iPhone in Kapla, while he was in the position of the Reuven. We returned and chose the same process from the value of 1 click. And we pressed the start button in the program, so the process begins as you see this, and the program is possible. Initially, when we got the iPhone with the cable while it is in the position of the recovery, the iOS version appeared on the device. And who did not appear with us before that when we got the iPhone and we started the operation while it was in a position of DFU, and in here it appeared to us many versions, not one. But we will know that the device must be released 15 with its various updates, meaning it can be 15 or 157 or any other update version that is important, that in the other it must be released 15. This is the primary version of good, it is possible. It remains. Someone is asking me and telling me. In order to answer this question, let's move to the 4th point we have. We said that we want to work and we understand and not preserve. Therefore, the information will be very important, and you are working because at the beginning of the process, you must choose the bot and the RAM disk files that are compatible with the version on the iPhone, and if we return the process that you failed with us before that. At that time, we chose the bots and the RAM disk to version iOS 16 and 6. And on the matter of this process, it failed and blossomed for us the mistakes that we have seen. Because we chose the boot files wrong, even if the program succeeded at the first stage or another stage. At the end, it will fail at a certain stage, and it was the MON stage, as we saw with each other. But when we know the version of the version on the device, we will be able to choose the appropriate bot and RAM disk files. In order to carry the exploitation files and the appropriate RAM disk for me and then start the bot process on the program. As we can see, this is the fastest and easiest solution as we said, and why you need to do a full norm for the iPhone and a long time and then return the process again, and this is that we work and we understand. We return to the process again. The choice box will see us to choose the appropriate Montal and connectivity process for the iPhone. We will choose the process designated for 11 versions of 17 versions, which we chose with the time that it missed and the process failed after it, but notice the process now I continued successfully. Without the flowers of any errors and blossom for us, this selection box for the stage after that, and what we do. The most important of us now is the first two options, and they are the work of the network files, or the retrieval of the backup version. Of course, we choose to take a backup copy of the network files. We will choose a backup but code and you will wait a little to take the backup copy of the network file. They are usually running the iPhone or doing a survey, prisons and full format, and of course we are supposed to choose the format in ARC.
Will you say how to make sure and do myself?
Before you implement the format process, you should make sure that the program took a full version and saved it on the computer.
We will go to the EFT Pro folder and then Backups folder.
Or backup copies. We will find a new folder located here and whose banks have appeared on the program with the same name, and inside this folder we will find a backup copy of the network files and activation, which are the files that we have provided and that the program pulled from the iPhone and saved here. We must make an update or restore.
And review the iPhone lock in the account again, so you will be with you and you can return it again to the iPhone easily, but the check of bulk must be for the same device, not for another device, so that the process will succeed with you. Well, we will return to the program again, implement the format and erase process, and wait a little to the extent that the program process takes place as we see, and then we will notice that the phone is running restart.
And you will wait a little to work. Then you will find open and work after format as we see. We can leave it on this situation or we can complete the initial steps, such as choosing the language, the country and other settings, to some extent that it stands with us to request an iCloud account as you can.
Then we close the phone, enter the DUU, and connect it to a cable again.
In this step, you will not need to enter the iPhone to the recovery mode because we are salvation. We choose the same process, transfer it, and implement it on the program, and we will get a grill to show us a box choice box on the program. We understood and knew that the iPhone has a 15 version, so we will choose the bots files for iOS 15 and then we will click on OK and the program will start entering the iPhone bond VO. Then we will start writing the bots and RAM disk files, and then the selection box will appear again to choose the mont and the link. We choose the same choice, which we chose in the process that missed, then we press OK and wait a little to the extent that the link was done and the choice box appears to us, and here the time we have selected with the title. In order to take a backup copy of the files, but this time we will choose Restore in order to return to a backup version and write it to the iPhone again, and then we click on OK. After retrieving the vocabulary, it will appear to us the syndalactyraya and we will find a consecutive group of operations, which are as follows. First, the process of stopping and closing the air updates, stopping the factory control process, and also exceeding the initial settings that appear to us on the iPhone screen, and the direct entry of the presidential value without the initial settings. The second choice is to stop the closure of updates, the simple process, the factory control. The third choice is to stop the updates only, and the fourth choice, it is the suspension of the simple process, the control of the factory only, and the last selection, which is to overcome the initial settings only. Then we note that the iPhone did a restart and opens immediately after the main value and without the appearance of the initial settings, such as choosing language and others, as well as without ordering any iCloud account, as you can see. And now we have skipped the iCloud account on EFT Pro, through the value of one click. We are all the problems and mistakes that appeared with us and we are doing. The iPhone is currently not on any iCloud accounts, and if we leave and see the version on which we will find a 15.6.1 version.
I mean, when we knew the version that is on it, things facilitated us in the steps of the skipping process, and now we want to try the most important need, which is the network and calls. If we install any contact segment in the iPhone, we will notice that it brought a network naturally and organized and without the appearance of any problems, and we can now make any calls from it because we have worked on the account with the operation of the network as you see it. I want one to the Matter mobile. I want one. You start with a Vodafone Cash. Just like that, and I explained the point in a simple and easy way, and we know the one CLIC process supported on the subsidized one. Also, we knew how much we can use it easily, so that it is working and you understand what to do, not just a person who explained on YouTube and we win without what I understand. In order for you to make any mistakes like what happened with us, you will be able to solve them and address them in easy steps. And as I told you that you can implement the same steps that we have taken with the rest of the iPhone supported by the dongle here. Whether it is iPhone 10 or any other model of the models supported by it, and of course, if the explanation is executed, you will not forget, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell on the matter of all the new explanations or the first Powell. And see you on the best video that comes, God willing. Peace.